We begin in Nigeria, where the Minister of State for Education, Emeka Nwajiuba, has accused striking university workers, including the Academic Staff Union of Universities, the Joint Action Committee of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, and the Non-Academic Staff Union of Education, of being mean and wicked for shutting down universities across the country. Now, this is just as the ASUU strike enters its 51st day today.
The unions are currently on strike over failure by the federal government to honor the various agreements reached with them. According to the minister, polytechnics and colleges of education are asking for the same thing, but they have continued working while awaiting the entitlement. Joining us on the show this morning is the president of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, that is Emmanuel Oshodeke. Many thanks for joining the program, Emmanuel. Now, we have reached day 51st, or day 51 as it were, of the strike. What exactly is ASUU requesting for, and what's the cause for the delay, the back and forth between federal government and ASUU themselves?
Thank you very much and good morning. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we can. We're wondering what has been the reason for the delay, the back and forth between federal government and ASUU, and why this strike has to linger to the 51st day.
Well, the reasons are very clear that the public purview. In 2009, we had an agreement with government to do a number of things to upgrade our university to such a standard that it can compete with that university in the world. Based on that, the government set up a panel headed by the present INEC, Group Secretary for INEC, and they went around and came out with a report, a need assessment report, that indicated that the federal government, to upgrade our university to world standard, should invest 1.3 trillion naira to upgrade our facilities within 6 years, I'm sorry. And after that, till now, apart from the first tranche released by President Goodluck Jonathan in 2014, no other significant amount has been released. We talk about an acquisition, another agreement. The salary lecturer was any day in 2009 is still what they see any today. That we are in a country where if you convert our salary to the dollar, it's just about $300 to $600 for a professor, $600 for a professor at the back. And that is why today you go around our university, there's no university you see a foreign lecturers. Just like you are seeing Nigerian lecturers lecturing all over the country. This is the background to where we are today. And we have met several times, we have gone on strike, and we will sign an agreement, sign a memorandum of understanding to implement all these issues. And as soon as the strikes are over, they give up, they don't do anything. That's why we are here today. On this one, on this present one, if they were serious about education, if they were serious about our country, it won't have taken 3 days for us to do a final negotiation to implement, and then we'll come back to work. But they have kept up silence in this period. That's the crisis.
All right, so another question people are asking is, why has ASUU decided to continue striking while her counterparts in other tertiary sectors are asking for the same thing, but yet they are still working?
You see, anybody doing the comparison have very little knowledge about what is going on. We are not in polytechnic. We are not in the colleges of education. We're in a university, the highest echelon of learning in the whole world. So we can't be comparing ourselves to polytechnic and college of education. Let me ask you, what is the percentage enrollment in polytechnic today? Go and check. Less than 5% of Nigerian students, Nigerian youth, apply to enroll in polytechnic and college of education. 95% in university. So if universities are not good, if the polytechnic are really very good, if they say the lecturer, like the minister is saying, which I know is not correct, if it is true, why are students preferring university to polytechnic? But I know they're not correct. I am in touch with the president of these two unions of polytechnic and college education. Just give them opportunities. Next 2 weeks they join this strike. They give the government ultimatum. So when a minister tried to compare these two, we should that minister doesn't know what he's doing. So unfortunate for this country, comparing university and polytechnic, because you are not paying their proper salary, you are not funding polytechnic, you are not building structure, but they are teaching, and then you are clapping for yourself. Will he put his children in polytechnic? Will that minister allow his children to go to the category of polytechnic, college of education, and university will have today? Will he put them there? So that is the crisis, and we Nigerians, we in the press, we should not be listening to such people. We should do investigative journalism. Go to those polytechnics and see the state of infrastructure in those universities and polytechnics. Go to Nigerian University and look at the state of infrastructure, and then you project to the public. That is what we expect our colleague in the press to do.
Right. Now, looking at the situation, looking at strike being an effective way of getting the attention of the government and getting the government to do what needs to be done to ensure that higher institution or higher school of learning is at par with the international standard. How effective has strike been? I mean, in recent past, you just said it yourself, where an agreement is reached between the federal government and ASUU, and when the status quo returns to what it should be, it's never done. And yet we're coming back to strike over and over and over again. How effective is this? And is that the only option available?
Can you ask me, can you tell us the other option? We have asked this country, Nigerian people, you journalists, what is the other option left? Let me tell you today, the little structures you have in the system today, go around, like I said, do the investigative journalism. Any structure you have in Nigerian university today is either a product of tech fund or need assessment. Our product from our strike. If we didn't go on strike, I can assure you today, our primary and secondary schools, our universities will be like the primary and secondary schools that have been captured by the public sector, private sector. But as I speak to you today, 95% of Nigerian citizens, students, are still in the public universities. Less than 10% of Nigerian pupils are in public primary and secondary school because of our struggle, because of our strike, this so-called strike we talked about. But when you go to the public university, we have about 99 private universities, about 80-something public universities, 95 private to 80-something public. But as I speak to you today, 95 of Nigerian students are still in the public university because of our struggle. Only 5% are in those public, private university they believe can capture our. We will not allow it, and we will struggle.
All right, so as the president of ASUU now, do you think that your demands will eventually be met? And how soon do you think that will happen?
You see, if they want to take 2 years, they want to take 3 years, you look at Ghana. When you go to Ghana today, every year Nigeria pay billions of dollars to Ghana as fees to Ghana. How did they do it? They went for strike for more than almost 2 years, and the government realized the importance of education and they started funding. Today, our children, so many thousands of Nigerian children in Ghana, if they have kept quiet, folded their hand, where Nigerian people want Nigeria ASUU to fold his hand, we will not see Nigerian people going to Ghana. You must struggle to get something in a country like Nigeria. If you fold your hand, you kill the people.
Right. Now, we've also heard from the government talking about the no work, no pay policy that will be implemented should the strike continues as it were. What is your position looking at the labor law that supports the no work, no pay policy, especially in this situation of strike happening in the higher institutions?
You see, we as a union of intellectuals, we are not afraid of threats. If they like, let them keep the salary. It's not an issue. As far as I'm concerned, it's not an issue. Your people, you sign an agreement. After they should be one that should stop their salary. You sign an agreement, you implement to it, and you fail. You went on strike, you failed. And the government, Nigerian police says, stop their salary. Now the lecturer tell you, so implement what you sign, you say you want to hold their salary. Let them hold their salary. And my members are not perturbed. And I will tell you what will happen to this country. You recall, when the doctors went on strike a year ago, this same minister said, no work, no pay. It took them to court here and there. You are aware of that, are you not? When they finally call up this strike, what happened to this country? You might not know what happened to the country by that statement by the minister. Not less than 5,000 to 10,000 doctors have left this country because of that insult the minister did, that I want to hold doctors' salary. And they have left the country. Who is punished? Who is being punished? Today we are training doctors and they leave because of the way we behave in the country. I can assure you, if they do that to the academics, thousands of them will also leave this country at the end of the strike. So it's the country that we lose. It's not with the lecturers. So a threat of no work, no pay, are we a roadside union? Threat of no work, no pay, then that will drive us back to work. I pity for this country. That's what they want to pursue. Let them go ahead. Our members are not prepared.
All right, thank you so much. The president of the Academic Staff Union of University ASUU, Mr. Emmanuel Oshodeke, thank you once again for your insight on the situation of things concerning the strike in Nigeria.
Thank you very much.